$10,000. What is Apple thinking?
Afternoon. 6-day lifetime will be.
The Apple Watch and the new MacBook, I think, represent a shift from premium consumer electronics to mass-market luxury. A shift from fulfilling needs to manufacturing more profitable desires. Some people said Apple may take some heat for entering a new market. The price is a little high. I question the company's ability to sell at the current price. The nearest competitor costs $249, with the average selling price a lot less. These quotes were not about the Apple Watch, but they described another expensive Apple device.
iPod, 1,000 songs in your pocket.
In this video, let's talk about how Apple hopes a physical platform develops around its watch through the power and appeal of luxury.
Are you ready?
After the Spring Forward event, I kept asking myself, why the high price, and how will this affect the perceived value of the Apple brand? At its core, the Apple Watch is a new vision for a wearable technology platform, but it isn't anything new. The blueprint was actually laid out by a former tech giant.
IBM embraces Linux, and the era of open source innovation is born.
Originally intended for students and businessmen, IBM outlined many use cases, including security authentication, a device that triggers when entering or leaving a place, checking messages and email, inputting speech, outputting voice, and warning by vibration, and even allowing you to do specific things like check into airplanes, hotels, and do cashless shopping. But it's not enough just to have a good vision. The timing must be right, and a company must be willing to execute on that vision. So let's see how the Apple Watch is following IBM's blueprint. First, security authentication. With the iPhone 5S, Apple introduced its own version of security authentication, Touch ID. And last year, Apple monetized the feature through Apple Pay, which seems to be catching on. Since September, the number of locations that accept Apple Pay has tripled, including vending machines. But on the watch, Apple Pay will work differently. Instead of a fingerprint sensor, you must create a 4-digit passcode that authorizes Apple Pay. If you take off the watch, it's disabled, and every time you put it back on, you must re-enter the passcode. To make a payment, you press the side button twice, select the credit card you want to use, and hold your watch up to the terminal. The watch will then vibrate and play a confirmation sound. But the main source of security is a 4-digit passcode. And beyond just simple payments, the Marriott will accept Apple Pay in 11 different locations, and JetBlue is accepting it to pay for food and drinks on their airplanes. Second, geo-triggers. Today, Bluetooth is everywhere, and this time developers are ready, especially retailers. Businesses can buy iBeacons that alert people nearby of promotional offers, and if you save things to your grocery list, like recipes and cooking apps, you will be guided to the right location in the store. For example, the Target app will send you a notification when you're nearby something on your shopping list. You can also unlock your hotel room door when you're staying at a Starwood hotel, check into a flight on American Airlines, or call an Uber. But the most popular use case will be brief communications. Simply raise your wrist to activate and lower your wrist to dismiss. For communications, you'll be able to send and mark emails, send replies on social networks, likes on Instagram, or draw messages and animate emojis to others. You'll also be able to send your location, send taps, or send your heart rate to an inner circle of friends. And to mute a call on the watch, simply cover the watch with your hand. Fourth, input and output. The WatchKit API makes the Apple Watch an I/O relay to the iPhone. It shifts all the heavy computing to the phone. Using Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, you'll be able to make and answer calls, use Siri for notifications, Shazam for music, or check the weather. You'll also get notifications from apps like Twitter and MLB. Fifth, fitness. Fitness bands have been out for a while, but now Apple feels ready to ride the wave. Using sensors and radios, it'll be able to measure movement for things like walking the dog or taking the stairs. And the Activity app shows 3 different rings. One for calories burned, one for activity time, and one for taking a break from sitting too long. The workout app is optimized for different cardio workouts like running, using an elliptical, or cycling, giving you progress updates along the way. And Apple is even dipping its toes into the connected home market through its HomeKit API that allows you to do things like check your security cameras or open your garage door. Lastly, just as the iPhone was pitched primarily as a phone that happens to play music, the Apple Watch is first and foremost a device that tells the time, that happens to be an extension of iOS on your wrist. You can customize 9 different watch faces with specialized functions defined by Apple, like checking stock prices, the phases of the moon, or a stopwatch. But the Apple Watch represents more than just a set of features. I think it represents a historic shift for the company. In the past, the Apple II shifted the PC industry from focusing on enthusiasts to selling complete systems. The Macintosh introduced the GUI, and the iMac introduced design. And the iPod brought Apple into the consumer electronics industry, while the iPad and the iPhone shrank computing down to a form factor that appealed to new sets of customers. Now, the Apple Watch might be another perceptual shift to mass market luxury that appeals to a previously untapped demographic in the technology industry.
We're driving Cadillacs in our dream, but everybody's like crystal, Maybach, diamonds on your timepiece, jet planes.
To help with this effort, Apple recently hired some CEOs from established luxury brands. To appeal to different tastes, Apple made 38 different models, coming in 2 different sizes, 6 different finishes, and 6 different types of bands. The lightest watch is the classic buckle, and the heaviest watch is almost twice the weight. And for software, the 9 different watch faces are tightly controlled by the company. And while the technology itself is the same in every watch, the expensive models go beyond premium into luxury. The idea of luxury is the best way to get rich people, or people who want to be perceived as rich, to spend their money. One of the pioneers, the son of Louis Vuitton himself, showed off flat-top trunks at the Chicago World Fair, sparking a luxury revolution 120 years ago. Luxury signals status, and in economics, signaling is simply trying to convey information to others. Everybody signals. Students try to get into prestigious schools because they want to signal their intelligence and motivation. Some people buy expensive clothes, especially in the clubbing scene. Women wear high heels because they look and feel sexier, and sneakerheads buy expensive shoes because they feel a connection to the athlete. Celebrity culture feeds this idea of form over function. And some tech companies have already been following this strategy, making billions of dollars along the way. For example, last year Apple paid $3 billion for a headphone company that was founded and promoted by celebrities.
It's so creepy, but it makes it quirky and interesting.
So the most profitable and enduring companies have to manage luxury aspirational brands because it's really difficult to make a sustainable profit in the consumer goods market. Some luxury brands may have better design, better performance, better functionality, but really that's not that important. But Apple's not the first company to make this attempt. In 1998, Nokia established Vertu, a luxury smartphone manufacturer that's really popular in Russia, Asia, and the Middle East. And while Vertu works with partners like Ferrari and Bentley and offers services like 24-hour concierge assistance worldwide, the value of the brand is more in the perception of the owner. Luxury brands signal status. This is why demand in the luxury market goes beyond a rational assessment of value and utility. Because luxury brands signal status, if the price goes up, demand actually goes up. The cost of goods isn't important, capital investment is actually really low. It's really a completely irrational market. And in luxury companies, creative directors have the most power. For marketing, they focus attention on the units that actually sell in low volume. For example, Chanel makes most of its money from perfume and cosmetics, not from designer clothes. The brand becomes a status symbol, and the luxury goods show off the purchasing power of the owners. So how does this relate to the Apple Watch? The Apple Watch was built around the thesis that wrist real estate is different from pocket real estate. Our hands are always on display. We use them to communicate, we dress them up, and they even signal our relationship status to others.
Will you marry me?
Apple is approaching watches fully aware that form is more important than function, especially for something that we wear. But there's also some utilitarian benefits. Keyless entry for cars is a great example.
As long as you've got this on you, the car will automatically unlock itself.
While it may seem frivolous at first, most people who use keyless entry can never go back to using keys. And do you know how hard it is for women to check their phones? I've actually asked around, and most front pockets don't fit the latest devices. And if a girl is wearing a skirt or yoga pants, forget it, the phone's going in the purse. So the Apple Watch may have more utility than people realize at first. Now to advertise, in iOS 8.2, the new Apple Watch app will be downloaded to all iPhones, and the company also controls retail distribution, with over 450 stores around the world, and intends to double the amount of retail stores in China alone. This means that 120 million annual visitors will be able to check out the custom displays and get help from retail staff. But why the high price? Let's talk about something called price anchoring. Price anchoring creates a sense of value for potential customers, and everybody is susceptible to it. Apple has always anchored its prices higher than its competitors, but in the past it justified the price with new features and specifications. For example, the $400 iPod was justified by its 10-hour battery, syncing to iTunes, and the ability to hold over 1,000 songs. But today the Apple Watch focuses on material science and engineering. The aluminum Apple Watch Sport comes in 2 different colors, the standard Apple Watch comes in stainless steel, and the Apple Watch Edition is 18 karat gold. But focusing on the technology inside the watch, because Apple is really focusing on this type of glancing use case, I don't expect to see the same yearly product life cycle with the Apple Watch. First, it's really just an iOS extension with the heavy computing done on the iPhone while the watch just renders the UI. But that may change with the native app SDK that releases later this year, especially if developers come up with some pretty unique use cases that demand more power and performance. Now, how successful could the Apple Watch be? While the company is positioning the watch as a luxury product, it's really hoping to build out a physical platform that actually does more than just signal to others the purchasing power of the owners. It's hoping that retailers and service businesses will build experiences that cater specifically to Apple Watch users. But building a new platform is a really chicken and egg type problem, which Apple has always approached by focusing on the consumer first. And the Apple Watch is no exception. The most important thing for the company now is for people to habitually use and wear the device every single day. So to wrap things up, the Apple Watch isn't justified solely by its utility, by what it can do, its functions, like telling the time or extending iOS to your wrist. Apple is hoping the watch changes how people feel and interact in the real world through personalized services like Apple Pay, communications from your wrist, or conveying a sense of luxury to others. Just like the iMac saved the company from near bankruptcy by focusing on design and aesthetics while the rest of the PC industry was mostly utilitarian, the Apple Watch is the company's attempt to infuse technology with the power, prestige, and profitability of luxury. And just like Facebook solved identity in the digital world, the Apple Watch and Apple Pay hope to solve identity in the physical world. And we'll see just how successful this strategy might be next month, especially if we see celebrities wearing the Apple Watch Edition.
I'm done.
So thank you guys for liking, commenting, and sharing these videos. Leave your thoughts and opinions down below. I'll be sure to read them all. I also wanted to apologize that I haven't been able to get out this video sooner. I actually got really busy at work and I'm trying to catch up on a lot of stuff that I've fallen behind on. So bear with me. Thank you for staying subscribed to the channel. Next video is coming up. I plan to go more deeply into VR because I really want to show all the competition that's out there. I really think this will be a foundational year for virtual reality, especially as all the companies get their consumer products ready for launch. And I hope you guys were able to catch up on past videos. Every time you watch a video to the end, it really helps out the channel and shows that you're engaging with the content and that you're watching these videos and they have use for you. So let me know your feedback down below. And most of all, thank you guys for watching this video as we continue to see how technology changes the world behind us.